Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Lüning, Horst Lüning. I'm the master taster of Whisky.com, and today we have the Coillmor from the Liebel distillery from the Bavarian forests. Yeah, this is a forest in the northeastern part of Bavaria. It's a remote location, and the Liebel distillery made some Bärwurz, Blutwurz, some, German herb schnapps. And then several years ago, they decided to produce whiskey, and they did it the right way. They bought malt and peated malt from a malting in Belgium, I think, which produced with Scottish peat, and the typical normal brewery malt, and they have a special cask treatment the wrong way, cask preservation. They buy casks from southern Europe, like port wine cask, sherry cask, Tuscany casks like this one, a Caberlot, which is an interbreed between the Cabernet grape and the Merlot grape. And there they buy those casks for finishing, and these casks are brought wet, but they are brought in air-conditioned containers. Why that? Because they say to the bodegas or the wine chateaus, don't put sulfur in the cask to preserve the cask from mold and rotting. No, just empty the cask, and then we keep it cool, that no mold, no change in the walls of the cask, in the state of the cask can happen, and then they bring it this way cooled to the distillery, and then they are filled immediately, so that you won't find any sulfur in the taste of the whiskey. A lot of distilleries which import sherry casks from Spain, they buy those casks, they are put into the container, and then they are driven several days through very hot Spain and southern France up to Scotland, and then they are wondering why a lot happened in those casks. Or they let the bodegas typically add sulfur to the inside so that there's nothing going on, but then you have the sulfur in the whiskey. So they make that difference in this production, and here we have a whiskey matured in ex-early times, ex-bourbon casks, and then for a full year, 12 months, finishing in those Cabernet red wine casks. The color is magnificent. It's a wonderful dark reddish deep mahogany color, and here they write Bavaria and Toscana. Yeah, Il Caberlot cask finish. So here we go. Have a closer look. The distillery itself has some fruit schnapps, eau de vie stills, but they are able to switch off or to bypass the rectifier on top, which is quite typical to those eau de vie stills. And by bypassing that, you get more of the rich oils and flavors from the mash from the wash into the whiskey. So there's a lot of red wine in it. Apple, dried fruits, a lot of dried fruits. So the amount of or the influence of that cask is quite strong. And then, yeah, a light red wine note in it, a winey note, and a hint of smoke. Yeah. Some, well, nuttiness, walnuts. Yeah, it's 46% unchill filtered, uncolored, of course. So there's a full impact of the alcohol together with the intense cask. And you can taste that there is a very light influence of those stills, which lead to a more intense fruitiness in this one. And there's on one side the apple note, which is due to the distillery character, and on the other side the oxidized dark fruits note, which comes from the cask, and this gives a, well, an interesting complexity. Yeah, and a little juiciness, and in the aftertaste a little licorice. So there's some influence from this Caberlot wine cask. Yeah. Yeah, so this is a very interesting single malt whiskey, not that common, with this intense fruity note together with the intense cask note. So there you have the both sides of the medal, the stills and the distillery character with this fruitiness, and with the lighter fruitiness, and the cask with the darker fruitiness. So it moves over there, and then in the very back, after those 12 years of finishing, not only 6 months, but full 12 years, you get a little bit spiciness from the cask, a little licorice in the aftertaste. That's it for today. Thank you for watching.